Hi, my name is Amy and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some ways that you can save your money and learn how to budget and invest in your 20s, because it's actually really important to start these habits now, especially while we're young. I want to talk a little bit about how important it is, because if you kind of just started working like a full-time job, you're probably starting to think this is going to be a long time until I have to retire. Like, technically retirement age is until like 65, and that's just a lot of your life that you're going to be working. It's almost like most of your life that you're going to be working. And so I wanted to share some tips for how to save and invest your money so that you can retire early and have financial freedom and just have freedom over more of your life sooner, because that's a really big goal for me and I just want to share that with you. The first thing that's important to know is that no matter how much you make, it's very, very important to save at least some of your money. Even if it's a little bit every single week or month, no matter how much you make, it's really important to save. And I would suggest putting your savings in a high interest savings account rather than like your normal bank account, because with a high interest savings account, you can gain interest on your money, and it's basically just free money. Because these high interest accounts have really good interest rates, you can get a lot more money out of your savings. And the high interest savings account that I use is Ally Bank, and I'll put some other ones on the screen here, but basically how it works is over the years you're gaining interest on the money that you put in your account, and so that's like free money, and then that free money just continues to like compound on each other, and that's called compound interest. So say like you make $100 in interest on your money that you have in your high interest savings account, that $100 becomes yours, and then the next year you make $100 more, and then the next year you make $100 more, and so it's just like compounding. It's kind of hard to explain that, but basically it's really good and you should really start doing it as soon as you can. Even if you're not in your 20s, as soon as possible I would recommend, because that's just for like savings. Like, say one day you want to get married or go on a honeymoon or buy a car or put a down payment on a house. For me, the money in that account is for those types of larger expenses, but that can also be an emergency fund as well. If you were to like lose your job, since we're in a recession right now, it's good to just save money just for any little expense like that as well. But I just like to view it as like savings for future goals and things like that. But yeah, very, very important. And the amount that you're gonna save every month is definitely gonna be personal to you and how much you make, and you're gonna wanna budget all of your money to see how much you can spare every month. And I'm gonna talk about budgeting later in the video, so that will help you kind of figure out how much you have left to be able to save, or where you can like spend less and use that extra money to save. For me, saving is extremely, extremely important, because like I don't want to work for someone else like the rest of my life. Eventually I want to be self-employed, and if I ever want to make a big investment on a business or take a year off work, I want to be able to have that money like saved for me, not have to always rely on my employer to give me that money. Basically just have that money set aside just in case I want to like pursue something other than a 9-to-5. But it really, like, your goals for what you want to save for is totally personal to you. I definitely recommend starting to save as soon as possible. So savings is one set of the portion. The next set of the portion is investing. When you invest, you're basically making your money work for you. When you invest, your money can grow exponentially if you just continue to put money in the stock market in like an index fund over the length of like a long period of time. It's definitely more of a long-term plan. It's really good, and I'll explain why. But basically, what you want to do for investing, it sounds really hard and scary, but it's actually super easy. It just involves going onto a website and clicking buttons and putting money in there, and it's actually super easy. I personally use Vanguard to do my investing, but again, I'll put other ones on the screen. What I would recommend doing if you're in your 20s is getting a Roth IRA. And your company might have a 401k, and I would say do that as well. I really think you should do both a Roth IRA and a 401k. 401k basically just means you tell your employer that you want to take a little bit of money out of your paycheck every month, and they're gonna like invest it for you basically. And sometimes they'll match what you put in. So if you put in 70 bucks a month, they'll also put in 70 bucks a month. So that's a really good option, and I definitely think every single person should do that, because that's literally free money that you can get out of your employer, and you can put whatever percent you want. Like you can do like 4% of your paycheck, and then your employer will put in 4%. So yeah, definitely do that, because it basically is just investing for you, and it's a lot easier because it just comes right out of your paycheck. I also do a Roth IRA, and basically you can put in $6,000 every year of your Roth IRA, and it's like a very long-term investment, but like once you turn 65, you can like take that money out. It's just like a very long-term investment strategy, but I'll definitely put the reasons, the differences between 401ks and Roth IRAs on the screen as well, because there's benefits to both of them, which is why you should do both. They're just different. Whether you're able to put the whole $6,000 in your Roth IRAs depends on your situation. I try to put in like $500 a month for every month of the year, and that adds up to $6,000, and that's just easier for me. I don't have like large chunks to be putting in there every month. Even 500 is a lot, but yeah, it's just really important to me that I do that. Because I really want to retire early. If I retire early, it will just be really nice to have that money like growing for me all these years when I am retired, just to have that. Because as you probably know, we don't really get pensions anymore. Most companies don't give those anymore. And so it's really important to me to just like save and invest this money on my own. Besides the Roth IRA and the 401k, another thing you can do is invest in the stock market. And I personally don't like invest in individual stocks. I just do index funds, and I would definitely recommend that if you're in your 20s, because they're less volatile and they're more of like a long-term strategy, which I'm all about long-term strategies. Since we're in our 20s, like we have time, so these are like really good things to start now. And basically the index funds, I would recommend the VOO, VOO on Vanguard, but there's definitely a bunch of other ones, and I would recommend watching Graham Stevens' channel, because he talks about all the best index funds to invest in. That's what I do, and just every month just buy maybe one share of an index fund. I swear it's super easy using Vanguard. I feel like you'll understand it, like if you just make an account. It's just a regular practice I do every single month, just buying, even if it's just one share, just so that you're like continuing to build up your wealth, essentially having money for being able to retire early and do the things you actually want to do with your life.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do a budget. Basically, this is what I lay out every single month. I lay out my expenses, how much it costs, what I make every month, and then how much I save every month. So I'm just going to quickly run through this because I have another video on how to create a budget, and I'll link that. But just quickly, I'll show you briefly how I do this. Every single month I write out every single expense I have. So here's, say, rent. And I'm not going to put exact numbers, but just to give you an idea of maybe what yours may look like. So rent, and then any utilities I have, so electric bill, Wi-Fi bill, gas bill, and then whatever you spend on food every month, so food. And then if I like eat out or something, I'll just put eating out. And then however much that was, or if I go out for drinks or something, I'll just put drinks. Basically any charge that I put, or that I have throughout the month, I put here. And then at the end of the month, I do this formula to see how much I spent that month and just make sure I'm within my budget. And then here I'll put my earnings, and again, none of these are real numbers, but just to show you, I'm just putting Really just putting random numbers in here. And then I'll do the same for this. And this is just kind of to show myself that I'm not spending more than I make. And then it also allows me to see how much I can put in savings. Pretty much what you can do is just take the difference from what you earned, what you spent, and that's about how much I'll put in savings and investments. Whatever this number would be. But right now I'm just putting random numbers just to show you. But yeah, that's how I do my budget every month. I know you can do it a lot fancier, but just wanted to show you briefly how you can set that up. That's all I had for today's video. I really appreciate you watching, and please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thank you. Bye.